Okay, hi guys. This is the presentation I wanted you to look at for your homework. It's on ancient Greece. I'm filming this right now, so make sure that you guys get it. In the presentation, it's all about different stuff that you need to know for the story that we're going to be working on next. So make sure that you are taking a couple of notes. I want you to write down 3 things that you think are important in the story. I want you to write down 2 questions, and I want you to write down 1 big idea so you can get really a good handle on what I'm trying to teach you with this particular presentation. So tomorrow we'll discuss it, but it's very important that you know this stuff. So if you have any problems, just write them down. You can always pause and rewind and see if you can find it if there's anything that you're not sure of, but particularly use this to your advantage. You've got me, a teacher, right here at your command. Do what you need to. Pause, rewind, look at different things, see what you can find, and make sure that you're learning the material because we need to go through it. All right, I'm going to start it in just a second. Okay, good. Our presentation is today on ancient Greece. Why the heck are we learning about this, Mrs. Phelan? Okay, ancient Greek culture. Oh, talking about Greece. The classical period of ancient Greece started about 3,000 years ago. So long ago, about 1,000 years before the birth of Christ. That's why it's BC. So why should anyone care about a culture that is so old and clearly busted? It's important for us to figure this out. This is what we're talking about being clearly busted. A lot of these ancient Greek ruins. We've got the Parthenon here, and we've got some of the pieces of the Acropolis, things like that. So we've got busted, 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 and more busted. But these things are still important. You'll notice the columns particularly. This is still around in common architecture, even in the city of Lynn. If you look at Lynn English High School, if you go downtown and go to the library, these columns are still used to this day. There are movies, TV, books, architecture, all still inspired by the ancient Greeks from a culture that was 3,000 years old. We've got 300. We've got Troy, which came out a few years ago. That's Brad Pitt right there, so everybody likes that one. We've got Olympus Has Fallen, which recently came out, and even in that you can see the Greek columns that are on the White House in the poster. We've got the Wrath and the Clash of the Titans, which are both inspired by Greek stories. You've got the Immortals, and finally you've got Percy Jackson, the whole series that came out in that book series by Rick Riordan. Yeah, I wonder why I'm emphasizing this. So, who are the Greek gods and goddesses? I'm going to get in a little bit closer. There are actually thousands of gods and goddesses who were worshipped by the ancient Greeks. And they were important to daily Greek life as our more modern religious figures are to our lives. The Greeks are polytheistic. Poly meaning many, and theos meaning gods. Christian, Jews, and Muslims are monotheistic. Mono means one, and theos means God. And there are still many polytheistic religions in the modern world. Shinto, Hindu also have many gods in their religions. The Greeks used the lives and ways of their gods and goddesses to explain the ways of the world, how the world was formed, how the seasons changed, the weather, things like that. The Greeks also talked about heroes as examples of the greatness of man, but the heroes were all connected to the Greek gods. And then we've got all of this is how it all began. Gaia, Uranus, I know it sounds funny when you say that, Kronos, Rhea, and the Titans. Gaia was Earth, and Uranus was space, was created, and from them were born the Titans and the Giants. There's more in that, but it sounds just like a sports team, but they are actually, they were creatures that came from the original 2. Gaia also got with Pontus, the sea, and created the sea deities. And deities is a word that means God. Deus means God in Greek. Kronos, the son of Gaia, married a Titan, Rhea, who bore children, all of which he promptly ate. Rhea was not happy with him, obviously. Zeus, let's talk about Zeus. Oh boy. Rhea had enough, and when her son Zeus was born, he was the youngest. She tricked Kronos into eating a rock swathed in baby clothes rather than eating Zeus. So Zeus hid with his grandmother Gaia and later freed his brothers and sisters from Cronus' stomach. And there are some pretty nasty ways he did it. I mean, it's about 3 or 4 different stories. But Zeus wanted to rule, so he banished the Titans to the depths of Tartarus in the underworld. And Zeus was a playa. Hera, his wife, was clearly not happy about that. The big 3 gods that they had were Zeus, who is ruler of the natural world, Hades, ruler of the underworld, and Poseidon, who is ruler of the seas. You can see the 3 of them right there in that more modern picture right there. Mount Olympus, this is where they were supposedly lived. It's an actual mountain in Greece, and it was thought to be the home of the 12 major gods, and it's where the gods ate their ambrosia and nectar, which was food of the gods, and if a mortal ate it, it made them crazy, or die, possibly. The big 12 that lived on Mount Olympus were Zeus, Hera, Poseidon, Demeter, Athena, Hestia, Apollo, Artemis, Ares, Aphrodite, Hephaestus, and Hermes. I'm not sure if I can click on this to show you the video, but I'm going to try right now, right down here where it says click me, so that you guys can see the History Channel video that comes up. the 12. I'm not sure if Dionysus is here, but he should be. And the heroes, which is why we are learning about this. Hercules is a hero, or Heracles, Achilles, Theseus, Odysseus, Jason, Orpheus, Cadmus, Atalanta, which is the only girl, and finally Perseus, who we will be reading about next. I hope you guys remember to write down the 3 things that you thought were important. Write down 2 questions that you had about this entire presentation, and 1 big idea that you think was good to add about the entire thing. Okay, and I will see you tomorrow. Have a great night.